that Sanctum Sanctorum was lost, we basically can't win this. If our opponent is smart, they're just going to put all their effort into one location and finish off the game. Hey everyone, it's ShadowDTV coming at you with another Infinite strategy guide. These are just a collection of videos helping you guys try and get to Infinite rank. I've hit Infinite each season so far, so I wouldn't say that I am completely qualified, I guess, as a pro or anything, but just passing on the tips that I have used to get to Infinite rank, and hopefully they can help you out. So basically today's video is going to be about locations that are locked down. So this includes things like Professor X, the location Sanctum Sanctorum, Crimson Cosmos, basically any location that stops you from playing the cards in your hand. And the reason this is so important is, for instance, Sanctum Sanctorum, no cards can be played there. Basically, if you don't have a way to play cards there, you basically, and your opponent does, you must consider that location as lost. We've got some gameplay here basically to showcase this exact scenario, but it extends to a lot of other different locations. So we'll get straight into the gameplay. So as you can see here, we've got a Dracula, we've got a discard deck, a Swarm discard deck with Dracula, pretty standard deck list. But as you'll see, we've got Dark Dimension first up, which is fine. We can play cards there. Sanctum Sanctorum is the second location, and cards can't be played here. So basically, if we have a way to win that location and our opponent doesn't, that's just an automatic free location. And the reason it's so important is once you know you've won that single location, you can put all of your cards and energy into winning a second location. So your opponent's going to be trying to win both locations, or this could be vice versa, and you need to win both locations, whereas the opponent knows they only need to win one of them. And of course, this can be hard to gauge, if you don't know exactly the cards your opponent is playing. But as you can see here, we've got Strange Academy in this game. So Strange Academy is going to move our cards. So we're basically betting on our cards being moved to Sanctum Sanctorum. And if they don't go to Sanctum, if we say our cards go to Sanctum Sanctorum and we end up with the higher power, if we know that our opponent doesn't have any other cards to buff their board, then it's just a free location for us. Then we're going to put all of our effort into winning that second location. We don't have to win all three. We only need to win 2 locations. So as you see here, I've played Wong and Bishop. Obviously, I'm using Wong to try and activate all of our discard abilities. This is videos from a few weeks ago, so I'm interested to see what decision I actually made, because it's all going to come down to who ends up winning Sanctum Sanctorum, and then they can put all their effort into it. So we go Colleen, yep, that seems pretty smart. We go Gambit, that seems like probably the right thing to do, I guess, in this scenario. Actually, why am I discarding all those cards? The Gambit makes sense. The Colleen doesn't make much sense. Okay, so that works out pretty good for us with Gambit. So, looking at that board state, they also play a Gambit. We're betting that we're probably going to win Sanctum Sanctorum. Hopefully, our cards move to the right location. They get that Wolverine, though. And then this is the big moment. What happens here? Do we win Sanctum Sanctorum? The RNG goes against us, and we lose. We are currently losing Sanctum Sanctorum now. The issue with this, and it's very important if you look at the board, we are losing Sanctum Sanctorum. Yes, we are winning Dark Dimension right now with Bishop, but our opponent only needs to win Dark Dimension or Strange Academy. Really, our only play here is to play Chavez on the right, but we need to win both of these locations. The chances this is not going to happen, and I actually explained in this gameplay that we were not going to win this, but I just wanted to play it out to show that. And this is really what location lockdown comes down to. That Sanctum Sanctorum was lost. We basically can't win this. If our opponent is smart, they're just going to put all their effort into one location and finish off the game. And it's a simple skill in theory, but the problem is a lot of players, especially new players, kind of go, well, it's fine that I can win the other 2 locations, but you have to remember your opponent has all of the advantage here. The ball is in your court to somehow pull out a miracle and win the 2 other locations. Now, of course, if you know you have a way to buff the cards at Sanctum Sanctorum and you don't think your opponent does, then you definitely can win that location. But this deck, we know that there is no way to buff our board. We have no way to buff the cards at Sanctum Sanctorum. We have no way to get more power there. So that location is lost, and essentially the game is basically lost. This also extends to things like Professor X, Storm. If Professor X or Storm cause a losing scenario for you at that location, and you have no way to buff that location, it's lost. Okay, sure, your opponent might not for 100% know that you can't win that location back, but if they've figured out what deck you're playing and they're pretty sure of what cards you are playing, they can, I guess, deduce what options you have and can really focus all of their effort into winning that second location. It does make it really hard for you to win if you're trying to, put all your efforts into 2 locations and they're only really having to focus on one. 9 times out of 10, they're going to win that location, and they already know they've won that locked down location. So when that happens, if it's in your favor and you know they have no way to buff their board to win, for instance, Sanctum Sanctorum, you go for your life and just power up one other location. You should get the win. But, if you end up in a situation like we did here, do the right thing and just retreat. You lose 1 cube, and it's going to help you from getting these big 8 cube losses that you basically had no chance of winning in the first place. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, we're almost at 500 subscribers, so make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I hope this guide helped you out, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.